A reliable platform to trade with. Choose Maven. No payout denial, no delay in payments, no hidden rules. So let me show you the strategy from start. This is the trend line. As you can see, broke structure, created a high. I don't need to explain all this. You can see the trend line. We all know trend line. At this point, the trend, it broke the trend and returned to test the trend. When it returned to test the trend, you check the trading range of that at that point. When it took the trend, you mark it up. This is your range. You can see it. This range, you mark this range up and make sure price is at the premium before you make any entry. And you see price moved from there and came to take out the final liquidity point on that trend line. So for you to trade it this way, after noticing that there's a breakout has occurred from this trend, you mark your range. You mark your range. You mark your range. When you mark your range, yes, this is it. Mark your range from this top down to those points. This is your range you're working with. So this range, you make sure price is at the 50% fib, the premium zone. Make sure price is at the premium zone before making any entry. This premium zone is 50% fib. You enter at that point and you target the last liquidity point. That means the last point where price hits the trend line. This works almost all the time. It's easy and simple. And that thing, you take note that this trend is high probability when it's on the higher time frame. You mark your SL should be a little above your range. Stop loss a little above your range, and you trade down to those liquidity points. You can use these liquidity points as your targets. These points will give you a reasonable results. So let's go to the entry pattern. In this entry, you see this reversal pattern. This is, you switch to 15 minutes time frame. Once you switch to 15 minutes time frame, once you have observed that price has moved into that premium zone, like in the previous video I uploaded, you see that this entry pattern is similar to that one. So you can see from the chart here, price has broken the trend line. And if you mark your fib in this trading range, you see that you can see price has broken the trend line. If you mark your fib, you can see your trading range. You see the trading range, yes. So if you mark your fib, you see that price is at 50% fib. At 50% fib. and it has come back to retest the trend line. So you switch to 15 minutes time frame. And if you notice, price took a range liquidity at that point while returning to the trend line. And if you notice, on that trend line, when you switch to the 15 minutes time frame, and you see that same entry, that lower time frame entry I showed you, price created a high, and created a low. It moved and didn't break that high, returned, didn't break the low. Price also moved again. As it moved again, it wasn't able to take out that high. But if you notice, we are waiting for internal breakout structure to occur. It moved and returned, and finally, okay, finally it broke internal structure. Yes, at this point it broke internal structure. Broke internal structure. And once internal structure has been broken, you make sure you enter at the 50%, enter below 50% fib, which is the discount zone, since we are buying. You see, yes, when you draw your fib, make sure it's at 50% zone, since we are buying. So you enter at this point. That is your entry point. You buy from here. See, internal structure has been taken. Initially I would have bought from here, but the breakout structure, the candle that closed, that broke, that doesn't look healthy. So we'll wait for price to move and buy from this other point with our stop loss below this point, and we target the highest point of the range This highest point of the range, which is our target, we are expected to get about supposed to get more than 1:5 RR, 1:5 risk to reward ratio. You see, with this range, 1:5 risk to reward ratio, and this would be a good one in the market. See, about 1:5. But normally myself, I will just take 1:3 and rest, and allow the market to take the rest. So that is it. And in this one, you see the breakout where price broke the trend line, and retested it, and I placed a buy following every point I showed you in the strategy.